Luke.
Boom.
Luke Keogh's joined the Facebook.
They lived alongside and interbred with the other hominin species.
Nasty.
So they're fucking all these other things. They're fucking Neanderthals.
Are they fucking these Neanderthals because they can't get away because they're on four legs? The other ones are on two.
Well, the Neanderthals are not on four legs. They're
Neanderthals are so walking.
The Neanderthals are just fucking like big, grunty, dumb human things.
Yeah,
that's a huge bitch.
They're the Trump supporters of fucking 800,008 BC.
So other hominins went extinct, and they think that maybe the Homo sapiens killed them, or also they were built for a different climate than they were built for a hotter climate, and they were built for a colder climate. Sorry, and I don't know. They're not really sure, and actually, there's still some of the Neanderthal DNA that can be found in humans. So I've seen estimates up to 4%.
We fucking murdered all of them.
Yeah, we probably murdered all.
We did.
Right, we probably fucked them and murdered them.
For sure.
But like you had societies, but they weren't writing shit in stone, but. It's very easily you could just be like, you know what? Fuck all those Neanderthals. Let's take their shit. Let's kill them.
Mm-hmm. Well, have you guys ever seen the movie or the show Cosmos? The new one with. Do you remember the part where he talks about the reason that white people historically are more advanced or richer than the African continent or the black people?
No,
because of the animals that surrounded them. So like when the fucking white people migrated out of Africa,
right,
they had oxen and horses and shit that they found in these other areas. These animals did more of the work for them,
right,
so they were able to cook things and feed their brains and read fucking literature, write literature,
right,
where these other people that didn't have the animal labor to fucking plow their fields and do whatever the fuck else, didn't have the luxury of that.
Yeah.
It's just weird that you can think just one little thing like that.
One little thing.
Yeah, one little thing, but over a long fucking period of time.
Hundreds of thousands of years, yeah.
A long period of time.
I think it's also like more so, I mean, the brothers had zebras over there that can do the same thing as horses did, but they just left them alone. I think it's another thing about. I mean,
okay, no, that's true.
You're right. You're absolutely.
That's a good fucking point.
I mean, they just left them alone.
That's a good point.
Do the work for them.
Yeah, they never tamed them. They just let the animals alone, and animals let them alone. That's what I'm saying. They didn't tame them to do the work for them. Yeah.
Damn white folk trying to tame everything.
Right.
And I don't know why that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is I don't get it? I guess, but
yeah.
So
because we respect nature more, you fucking white devils.
Well, that's the reason you're running around with fucking paint on your face and throwing spears.
I was waiting for you to call me a spear chucker, you racist fuck.
Well, let's talk about some of these kind of evolutionary kind of holdover things. So can any of you what?
Well, besides, you mentioned cooking as growing the brains. When you were talking about 3 million years ago, when they stopped being able to grab their trees with feet. What kind of ushered this kind of evolution? Did you?
So they needed to move. They needed to move out of the trees. They couldn't get everything that they needed in the trees anymore, and
there have been environmental changes.
Yeah, environmental changes. So. Humans are actually quite good at, and there are still some people in Africa that's how they hunt animals. They actually run the animals down over the course of like a day. Because the animal, like a human being is actually capable of massive endurance compared to most animals. And it's an evolutionary thing that they were
massive
able to.
Massive endurance combined with...
Guarantee you the top 5 long-distance runners in the world are from Africa.
Yeah, yeah, I believe that. I definitely believe that.
Oh, yeah.
If not top fucking 100.
So
What is it? Is it Kenya that always has the winners?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always Kenya. Yeah.
right. So can any of you wiggle your ears?
No, my wife can, but I can't.
Okay,
No.
so your wife can wiggle
Demon.
because she's a demon. Yes.
Demon. What your fucking ears are? What is this?
Well, so this is called a vestigial trait, and it's something that is from our past. And some animals, like cats and dogs, you ever notice how they can move their ears and change the direction of their ears to direct kind of or detect where something's coming from? That is our shitty way of still being able to do that.
The little twitch that somebody can do.
Right. So it's not very good. Another one. Have you guys ever done this test where you put your thumb and your pinky together and you kind of bring your wrist up? Do you have this thing?
Yeah, you look at the thing. Yeah.
I don't have that.
I don't have that.
So you don't have it. So do you have it, Ashtray? Okay, so I'm the only one that has it here. That's another one. Yep, I'm a demon.
What is that?
So that was
extra tendon?
It's an extra tendon that doesn't do dick for us nowadays. But I guess maybe it had something to do with grabbing onto trees and shit back in the day.
Maybe you have extra pinky strength.
Maybe you should give up scuba
but
diving.
it really doesn't do anything anymore?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Oh.
So Yost has it as well. So those are a few of them, but there are more recent ones that affect us every day. So 10,000 years ago, humans could not drink milk after they were a baby.
How long ago?
10,000 years ago.
Only 10,000.
Only 10,000 years ago. Across the board. And what changed this, and this kind of ties into what Mystic was talking about, was agriculture and keeping cattle. Now, they're not sure what came first. If the cattle came first and people started to develop a tolerance for lactose, or if it was the other way around. If they had a tolerance for, there was a mutation.
It is weird, too, because I was thinking that the other day. We're the only species that drinks another species' milk.
Yep.
I mean, cats will drink cow's milk, but we give it to them. They wouldn't willingly go out and suck on a cow's tit or something.
Yeah.
Right. So today, more than 90% of all people have some degree of lactose or lactose tolerance.
If I eat ice cream, y'all in the same room with me. Y'all are gonna hate it.
About a third of the population digests lactose imperfectly and experiences some symptoms of lactose intolerance. And some people, mostly of African, Asian, or Mediterranean descent, are not able to digest lactose at all.
Oh,
Native Americans too.
Yep. I fart and then if I want to clear my colon, I eat some ice cream.
Got a little rocky road in your pants.
I grab my tablet. I prefer caramel praline.
It's just a white people superpower, man.
Yeah, right.
It's
true. So that's
white folks for white milk. I get it.
What do you think
10,000 years.
The early groups, tribes or whatever that could have lactose tolerance and use dairy as a resource, like over thousands of years. Well, this is only 10,000 years ago, but still, it's thousands of years.
So they're saying
helped them advance faster.
So here's a quote and this is from the Smithsonian. The European and maybe Arab expansions that whacked the Byzantine Empire may have been outcomes of this new ability to digest food, digest dairy. They had more resources. They had more nutrients. Yeah. So being able to do that gives you an advantage.
Well, and you can eat, like you could make cheese and keep cheese and eat it throughout the. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They had to eat vegetables that would go bad right away and shit. Like, yeah, that is a big advantage.
Huge advantage. Big game changer.
Well, yeah. Prior to then, you're always foraging.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
So 10,000 years ago, things change.
You're also restricted by the harvest season of whatever you're eating.
Right. things changed drastically for humans as agriculture developed, as civilization developed. Now, here's another one. Have you guys heard of scurvy?
Yeah,
that's a lot of
fruit, right?
Vitamin C. Yeah,
right. Lack
you
of
actually
vitamin
caught
C.
scurvy in a Super Nintendo video game called Secrets of not Secrets of Yep.
I have no idea what you just said, but we're going to continue on.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna take another shot. I've had like 5 or 6 already. I'm taking another.
All right, Ashtray, are you taking another shot?
It's so even.
Okay, so as these guys are taking their vitamin C supplements,
I'm just taking shots.
So you don't want to have scurvy. Basically, you start to fall apart. You start bleeding from your orifices. It's really yeah, it's not a good time.
Jesus Christ!
And I don't like the bleeding from orifices.
Bleeding from your orifices?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit!
And
you get
salute, Teddy.
So. Explorers back in the day, so back in like the 1400s or whatever, they quickly discovered that on long voyages you better fucking bring along some source of vitamin C, otherwise you're going to be in big trouble. And the thing is, your cat or your dog or other mammals do not have that problem.
Yeah.
They don't need vitamin C, and almost all other mammals they generate their own vitamin C, and humans do not create their own vitamin C. So after looking into this, they actually found that humans have the genetics in order to create vitamin C. They have this GULO gene.
Well, let's CRISPR that shit and get it going.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that's on the horizon. But the thing is, some time long ago, so maybe this was 200,000 years ago, maybe it was 1,000,000 years ago, that gene had a radical mutation happen to it. And normally what would happen if an animal, let's say something just suddenly has a mutation where it goes blind, and this is a genetic disease, and those many times because of natural selection, those things will die out, or humans or whatever. But back in the day, I was talking about all of these early ancestors. They were all in African areas with a lot of vitamin C available, so they're thinking that it didn't affect the population because they had the stuff. It was part of their diet. So now this gene that affects us now and means that we have to take vitamin C in from outside sources, it wasn't a problem for them. It's a problem for us now. Or I guess if you're a sailor on a long voyage, I don't think it's really a problem.
I mean, you
anyone's catching scurvy nowadays.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you can just go buy an orange juice from fucking.
Right. Yeah. You gotta go like 6 months without any vitamin C to get scurvy, man. It's just
hey, man, post-apocalypse, it might be a problem.
Right. So now let's talk about. So these are kind of some of our far back things, and what got me on the subject of this was I read an article, and our brains are shrinking. I didn't realize this.
I've heard that when you get older, your brain shrinks.
No,
just like
our brains are shrinking as a species.
Oh shit!
So
Trump.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is this: over the past 10,000 to 20,000 years, they think the shrinkage is likely related to the decline in humans' average body size during the past 10,000 years. So we didn't need as big a body because we weren't in as cold of temperatures. So we didn't need all that mass. A smaller body also suggests a smaller pelvic size in females. So you need
those small pelvics.
Right. So you need a smaller head.
Hey, for tiny dick guys, that is a plus, okay?
I don't care about tiny dick guys.
Hey, I'm just saying, you gotta think about everybody, man. And that's the problem with the country now. You gotta care about everybody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You really should.
Now we get it. Now we get into kind of more modern stuff. And another likely reason, and so this was 10,000 years. Our brains are energetically expensive, and they don't need to be maintained at larger sizes. We don't need to store as much information inside our brains. We need to process
store it in
that.
the cloud now.
Right. We process that information, and we don't need to remember shit like we used to.
Yeah.
So,
there may be, like, I could see how just on evolution level, like, we have in the civilization level, like, we've got so many comforts now that, like, you can be a lazy fuck.
I remember
still live and still have kids.
My part thing is, in the past, cell phones have been around for the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have been around for more than 10
years.
I get that, but the smartphones 10 years.
Yeah.
And my thing is, like you say, our brains getting smaller because our bodies are evolving into a fact that we don't need to maintain that big of a brain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried that this could be like that the past 10 years could be a side effect of the intellectual side, a bad part of the intellectual side.
Maybe. Well, go ahead, Mystic.
I had a professor once where you were talking about, like, we were talking about in ancient times, the oral fucking storytellers that would go around and tell stories, and and somebody said, well, how do they remember all this shit? And he goes, because they didn't have 8 seasons of The Office rolling around in their head. Think about it.
Right.
That's fucking
right.
We have this whole sensory overload. I mean, we take in so much information that you can't remember that. That was their only job.
Right.
Yeah.
They just remembered stories.
Yeah.
I think it was, Socrates even, he's known for not ever writing anything. We only know about him because people who wrote about him. Mm-hmm. But I think he also was like someone who actively was like, writing stuff down? Hell no. Like, you're going to lose that ability to have it all up here.
Right. Yeah, and they said it's kind of akin to the way our brains are going is we are upgrading our processor and our RAM, and our hard drive is getting smaller, which I thought was a good analogy for that. Now, something else that I learned about, which was kind of shocking to me, was that our skulls are actually getting smaller. The shape of our skulls is changing.
Oh, beautiful skull.
And see, now you're
skulls are timeless.
I've heard the same shit on Ancient Aliens, and you're starting to scare me.
Oh my god.
Okay, so about 250 years ago, our faces began to change. So industrialization interrupted the ancestral patterns of weaning and feeding, with babies nursing on demand for years while also trying solid foods under adults' watchful eyes. So when the mothers went to the textiles and we started giving them increasingly processed foods instead of saying, okay, here, chomp on this fucking deer or, tear into this turkey leg.
Here, don't choke yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
It's actually it's changed the shape of our skulls, and they're much more narrow than what they used to be. And actually, they're finding that our mouths do not have enough room for our teeth anymore. Ancient peoples, so ancient Romans, actually had straight teeth compared to us. We have much more.
What's that mean, straight teeth?
They had room for it. They had room. Right. They had room for the teeth to grow in.
Take your wisdom teeth out.
They didn't have to take anything out. Now they're saying that it's considerably crowded compared to what it used to be.
Oh, so that's actually just like a bad evolutionary symptom.
Right, because we're
getting by because we have the technological means to.
It's an evolutionary thing that is caused by not only evolution of people being born and being able to reproduce with these problems, but also what we are eating when we are children and how that is shaping our mouths. That's actually changing what's going on here. And it's affecting, they're saying all of this crowding in the skull is actually affecting the breathing of children. They've got, what's the thing?
Little
sleep
asthmatics.
apnea.
Yeah, I heard,
Yeah.
okay, it was that little 6-year-old who got arrested and handcuffed. They said, oh, she suffers from sleep apnea. And I'm like, I thought, isn't that for old fat people?
Well, I guess it's a big problem for kids now.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And that was something that I had never considered. All right. So just to wrap it up, talking about technology and how that has changed the survival of the fittest and kind of speculating on where we're going in the future here. So they're saying that survival of the fittest no longer applies. Our medical technology has changed the face of that. And basically evolution in humans, evolution is occurring in two other ways. Efficiency based. So let's say you are physically would have been completely fucked up and incapacitated 250 years ago. Now, I don't know, maybe you're a mad programmer or some shit. Who knows?
Like if you're a total dweeb today, back then, like you wouldn't survive.
Right. So that has changed that.
They didn't have peanut allergies back in the day. Because you died from it.
And then another one is transhumanism. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot. We're going to be seeing a lot of that. Like what Teddy was saying with CRISPR. So that's basically trying to get some of these recessive genes out and trying to increase our lifespan and basically hack our humanity. So there you have it, human evolution.
Humanity.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that how we're at a point in society that we've gotten to where we classify and narrow things down as much as we can as far as species go.
Mm-hmm.
But yet we're narrowing down an ever-changing pool of organisms as far as humans go. And like, I wonder what kind of, and I'm sure there's probably papers written about it where, you're going to have those people who say, well, that's why differences in races are that we're not really technically all the same. They use that as like a eugenics supportive thought, but at the same time, like, so different genes do make you of a different color of skin and whatnot. I mean, that is a certain part of your genetics, but it's just, and now especially with international travel, races are crisscrossing left and right. Like, it's weird. It maybe
what are you talking about, Joshi?
Like eventually are we going to evolve all into like a weird middle tone skin?
Okay.
Well,
pretty
like,
much.
yeah.
By the time, I think fucking couple thousand years from now, we're all going to be
because this crossbreeding is supported by our modern medical system, which has kept a lot of us alive.
I think it will. I also think that just like
I don't know, man. This
agriculture,
pretty pale.
Yeah.
Like agriculture changed the landscape so much 10,000 years ago. You can't tell me that the technological differences that are taking place within the past 50 years, which will take place over the next 50 years, those are going to have significant changes to our evolutionary makeup. And it's going to be just like it is accelerating with technology. Because the thing is with humans is that recorded history. We iterate on the things that we do, and that speeds it up exponentially. So who knows how that's going to change us, not only mentally. I agree with you, Teddy. I think that mentally there are things that are changing that we do not understand at this point.
Maybe autism.
Who knows? I think there are things that we are all experiencing, not just autistic kids. I think there's just something going on that we don't understand. And physically, I don't know. who knows what that's going to look like, or what that's changing for us physically. If we don't need to use our hands, and like with manual labor as we used to, who knows how that's going to affect things. So I don't know. It's really interesting, kind of crazy to think about. Our skull, over 250 years, our skulls have dramatically changed shape.
Just 250 years?
250 years.
That is not a long period of time.
No, it's not. We think about evolution in terms of millions of years. For human beings, post-industrialization, we're talking centuries.
Look at how fast it's happened. You talk about food and what we put in our bodies. The processing of food in the past 50 years. They had stabilized footage from the early 1900s of people walking in New York, and there wasn't one fat person in the goddamn footage.
Right.
Nowadays, 3/4 of them are.
There were no snacks.
Obese.
Right. Snacks were not a thing.
You made food at home.
There were no snacks in 1900.
Catch some shitty ass McDonald's on your way to work.
Yeah. Should be interesting. But I guess we're in this together, so we're all fucked.
You got to sit back and be like, damn, ain't we lucky to be just at that tipping point where it's like shit's starting to get cool.
Yeah.
And it's getting easy, but we're not going to live long enough to all of a sudden we're just brains floating around with robots.
It's going to be like WALL-E. You ever seen WALL-E? I know Teddy.
Yeah.
Where everyone's just a blob.
Everybody's
on a little hover bed. Hover around.
Exactly.
All right, so we're moving on to the next part of the show, the What's Sexy section of the show. And first up, we have Mystic with Old Music.
So, recently I've been kind of just getting into some shit I listened to in the 90s. Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to some Blind Melon. I haven't heard Blind Melon in a really long time. Dude, they were incredible songwriters. That whole album, the whole self-titled Blind Melon album, is a fucking great album.
I've never listened to the whole album.
Yeah, I just watched that one video with the bee costume girl.
Yes, No Rain. Yeah.
No Rain,
and that's their most famous. Mm-hmm. The thing is, the band really reminds me of Greta Van Fleet. Greta Van Fleet, the music is almost identical. It's just that soulful 70s, fucking kind of acoustic-y guitar. You could tell he's playing through some Marshall fucking or Orange Crate with a fucking Les Paul. You know what I mean? Just that classic guitar sound. But it sounds good. It's really well mixed. It's fucking, and the singer is way better than the kid from Greta Van Fleet. That dude was a fucking talent. And it's a shame that he was a heroin addict.
Did he die?
Yeah, he could have had a really long career, and he was a great songwriter. So I don't know. Check it out. Old music.
I've been getting into some old and new music. I've been listening to the Gimme Metal app that Mystic had brought to our attention last week, and that show that app, which has maybe 100 different shows on it, is really making me realize, damn, there was some fucking kick-ass music back in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
Blue Oyster Cult fucking ripped, man. They fucking ripped. You just hear the classic stuff, Don't Fear the Reaper.
Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah. Right. Godzilla. Yeah, they fucking ripped, dude. And just hearing these bands and shit, it's man, it's really making me appreciate. And also there are new bands that you just don't hear about in the mainstream. And it's nice to be reminded or kind of curated in a way hey, check this shit out. There's so much available out there. It's really hard to keep track of good sources of shit. So I've been appreciating that. Music's good.
Music good. Napster.
Neanderthal. All right, next up we have me with Weirdo all access. So the Red Eye Report now has a 24/7 or damn near 24/7 or stream, not live. Live when we do the show on Wednesdays or Thursdays at 10 p.m. Central. A stream,
feel like.
Right? A stream that is on all the major streaming platforms. So Twitch, Mixer, YouTube. We're on a bunch of other obscure ones. So at any time, somebody will come on 3 o'clock in the morning. Guess who's going to be there? It's going to be us. And I love the thought of us being that fucking... We're a
channel you can tune into to fall asleep.
Exactly. So when I worked at Hollywood Video...
With ashtrays, laundry in the back.
Yeah.
When I worked at Hollywood Video in Wausau, Wisconsin, I worked until like midnight, and I would always, after I'd get done, I would close up the store, and I'd have to drive an hour back to Marshfield, and I would listen to Coast to Coast radio, which I don't. It's a classic kind of like
conspiracy theory
shit. And
Alien
it was just
history,
right? And it was always there to be consumed and listened to at late at night. And I love the thought that we could be that and fill that space for somebody. That makes me really happy. So check that shit out. I noticed some people are trying to contact us in chat. Join our Discord, and then that way we can keep that shit together because we're streaming.
So can we all get on the Discord?
Yeah, you can get on the Discord.
I'm on the Discord, bro.
I am not even on the Discord.
You're a fucking asshole, that's why. But you can join.
I'm a drunk, too.
So
wait, do you have all of our episodes just on a loop?
So I have probably the last 10. I'm going to be adding some more, and it goes on a random playlist.
Oh, okay.
And it just it just plays it. So check that out. Next up, Ashtray. White House inadvertently sends Ukraine talking points to Democrats.
Yes.
What?
I don't know if you heard this, but
I don't watch the news, man. This is
with the whole Ukraine investigation now, which is only starting because President Trump basically was like, I guess it happened very shortly after the Mueller report kind of made things kind of and he's like, all right, get back to breaking fucking rules. Goes right to making this fucking mess. Well, to get all the Republicans on board, they sent their spam email with the the White House talking points, and they accidentally must have rung up the all the Democrats email list, enough people that they sent it out and they tried to do some sort of email recall. It's like, well, no, shit, you can't stop that nowadays.
Like when you realize you sent a text to the wrong person, you're like,
oh shit, no. Right. Mom did not want to see that.
I got dishpan dick. Oh, fuck. Sorry, Mom.
Put some Dawn on it. All right, that's my What's Sexy.
All right. So, Teddy seems to have locked up. Are you still there, Teddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
I'm locked up.
Video-wise, you look very concerned.
That's okay.
I thought it was just me. Okay,
Wise. Like,
that's all right.
It was
meditating.
All right, he's back.
Oh, there it is.
Boom.
Wow.
Look at that recovery. Damn, and he's fucking 5 shots deep. Holy shit.
That's right.
Okay, so right, Teddy, baby, with this hoary Daemon Ex Machina.
Okay, so Daemon Ex Machina is a mech game that's coming out for the Switch. It's kind of reminiscent of Armored Core. I'm a big mech game fan, and Armored Core is one of my favorites. And the cool thing is it's cell shaded, so it looks kind of cartoony. They came out with a controller for the Switch. The hoary Daemon Ex Machina. Yeah. It's a cool controller. One reason because for some reason it popped up to my big thing. I see. Yeah, that's the game in the background.
I'm watching the video. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, the game. That's the video in the background. For some reason it popped up on my.
Yeah, because I
TV.
put it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, calm down.
Fucking magic.
Right?
How do you put it on my TV?
Fucking magic, dude.
Magic, dude. Alien magic.
It's fucking coast to coast.
That last shot you see,
We're live.
that is it adds extra girth and size to the Switch. For a lot of adults, it's kind of hard to hold on to, or kind of uncomfortable because of the size of the controller. In this, it works with any game. It just clicks in. It's a lot bigger. It has a button on the back because the two top L and R buttons are R or L. The big ones on the bottom are kind of big. RZ or LZ at the top are really slender. On this controller, they're about the thickness of my finger. There's also a button on the back that you can assign to either one of those buttons at the top. For whatever game you're playing.
It has a turbo Switch that comes with this.
No, it is. It's the controller is about $50. But it's for it only works in handheld mode, and I use mine in handheld mode exclusively. I really don't put it on the TV. So I mean, like if you look at the size of the fucking from the controller on the left, which is the Oreo, and the one on the right, which is the Switch, it adds so much more size to it. And it makes it a lot more comfortable to play in handheld mode.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I always felt that the Switch was just not weighted properly. Like it felt like I just had like this long ass tablet, and I had like these little things on the end.
Little things on the side.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and to play it, you have to turn it sideways. The Horis don't work in handheld mode. They only work when they're on. When they click the system.
So that's crazy. So
I'm glad I never bought
the people that made the game also made this controller?
This controller, yeah. The X button is actually the X and Daemon X Machina is actually this little red X. It looks and it's on the X for the controller. But I brought the controllers. I did buy the game also. Because you can play the demo on Switch if you have it to see if you like it or not. But like I said, I'm a mech fan, so I bought the game. But these controllers, I bought the controllers mainly for the size. And it does pretty much doubles the size of your Switch because you put them together, it's almost the size of the screen. So it's crazy. But it makes it a lot more comfortable to play, and it's
it
awesome.
looks like it's more like this is how an adult should play it. Yeah, I have actually never played a Switch. Have you?
I'm hoping they come out with a middle part for the Switch comes with a little thing you can click the controllers in and have it like an Xbox controller. And I'm hoping they come out that Hori comes out with something that Nintendo lets them use to do that, so I can use it and so I can put it on my TV and actually want to play it. So
right. Okay,
but mainly Jesus,
that's pretty badass. It reminds me of I don't know whatever. It something about it reminds me of Game Gear, the Sega Game Gear.
Yeah. And Hori is a reputable company. They make really good fight sticks and other aftermarket controllers for consoles.
That's actually really kick-ass that they made it for their game. Like that's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a Tekken 6 fight stick. They have a lot of things that are fucking have a lot of Hori stuff. So yeah, check it out.
All right, we're moving on to the fuck what you think portion of the show, where we bitch about something and tell you to go fuck yourself. So first up, we have Mystic and Parents.
All right, so I went to a junior high girls basketball game tonight. My daughter was playing in it.
Awkward.
Yeah, but
especially with that state warrant.
Like there were some parents there that were just fucking like, dude, you're in public. Shut the fuck up for fucking 5 minutes. Like, there's this dude like, no, go in, box out, get out. Like he's just yelling. Like
fully
dude,
engaged.
They have a coach.
Sporting.
Shut the fuck up.
Right.
I'm trying to watch this shit, man. Like holy fuck, dude.
Wait, and how old are the kids that are playing?
7th and 8th grade.
Oh, that's like 14, right?
Oh,
yeah, 13, 14. 12, 13, 14.
I mean,
and honestly, the game ended. It fucking ended with a buzzer beater 3.
Really? Wow.
35-34. Yeah, like nice. It was a really close back and forth game, but like, dude, these parents just it's like these guys that the dads, that I played ball. When I was in high school and my girl could, shut the fuck up. Got my girl pregnant, dude. And I had to be a man. I had to step up, so I had to take care of my kids. So I put aside those dreams.
That's funny.
Yeah. And it's just like, dude, I get it, but shut up. Well, the rest of us want to watch this game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. And you're also just making the kids uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm sure they can hear their dad fucking screaming.
Yeah, God, I would hate to have...
Yeah.
to have like phone fervor dad on the side. What are you doing?
Fucking Neanderthal dad.
Like, I'm fucking up. What do you think? That's why it only took middle school basketball for me to realize sports were not for me.
All right.
Awesome.
Next up, we have Teddy. People who can't make decisions in restaurants.
Great.
Okay, so I took my son.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. We can hear you.
You didn't miss.
Yep. Go.
Awesome. So a few weeks ago, I took my son. He likes to go laser tag downtown on 2nd Avenue, and down the street from right down the street from that place is a Hooters. So I took my son to Hooters for the first time. Anytime we go to a restaurant, my son wants to sit at a bar. So we sat at the bar at Hooters, and it was pretty funny. But we had these it was two couples that sat to the right of us, and they couldn't. They were like, "Well, what do you have on tap?" And then they asked the bartender like, "Well, what do you like here and shit?" And I'm like, if you're an adult and have been in a restaurant before, you need to make a decision. It is not that hard to go in and like, why does it matter what the most popular thing here is? Why does that matter? Do you want to be a sheep and follow everybody else? Like, make a goddamn decision. Right. I don't get what it is. And they're like, and then one guy turns to me, he's like, what do you have? And I'm like, why does it matter what I'm having? I was like, I don't. It's are you gonna get the same thing? I don't get. Like, I'm with my son. He's coloring. I'm looking at titties. Just fucking order some goddamn wings and get on with it. I don't fucking understand what's going on.
Did you say that to him?
Yeah, I said, why does it matter what I'm having? Yes, I did.
You should have spit in his face.
I was high as shit. I had my little pen with me. I'd been playing laser tag for like an hour. I was pumped up. Adrenaline was going through me.
Water that I came in.
Yeah.
So if you want that, right ahead, protein.
But that's all. That's my fucking thing. People.
But someone asks like, "What's the favorite?" You got to make up something that's not on the menu,
right?
So what's the most popular thing?
Like the Texas Lone Star. That's the real burger.
Yeah, it's Hooters. Titties and wings are the most popular thing here. I go for the buffalo shrimp, but.
All right. Next up, we have Ashtray. Worst wedding song ever.
If this song plays live in my headset, blasting my ears, I'm catching a flight and beating your ass.
Just a couple seconds of it. It's all you need, really. All you realize, like, this is going to be a bad song.
Let's crank up this jock jam.
This is for this wedding I've got this weekend. And I could not find this song to buy, like as an MP3, like you normally would. So the only place I could find it was on YouTube, and it's some Christian mom. Well, I'm assuming she's a mom. She's a Christian contemporary singer/songwriter, and her name is Melissa Smith.
Wow, you're just calling her out, huh?
Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she put it out there.
That's true.
The thing is, I realize I just got to make sure I don't make any reference to whose wedding it is, because they like know I'm their DJ, but you know, it'd be funny if they find this like 12 years later when we're a big hit. We're like, oh my God, that was our song. It is so bad. I swear to God, the mom just searched mother and son wedding song because that's what's first in the title and that's why it comes up top.
Okay, so what makes this song so bad? As a seasoned... it's fucking shitty, but I would think any song like this would be shitty.
Well, it just sounds like basically some mom singing in church with kind of half-assed recording quality. Mm-hmm. And if you really listen to the lyrics, it's like It's the most dumb, uninspiring, deadpan, like, oh, like a literal example of, I helped raise you, my son, because you were such a little boy. And to grow up to be a man, I had to be there for you every day. And it's just like, really? Whoa. It's so intense.
That's fucking funny.
Ugh. But I give you props. It's like if you want to try a torture, they use Abu Ghraib. It's like waterboarding for your ears because it is. I play a lot of bad music as a wedding DJ, and I'm fine with that. But this is one where it's just like, damn.
But this is a bridge too far.
This is why I could not buy it
because it's so bad.
It's that bad.
Because it's fucking banned by the FCC.
Even Amazon.
I had to rip it. I had to rip it off her YouTube channel.
Oh man!
The only place I could find it. Too many of these fuckers pick songs that are some weird, obscure shit off of goddamn YouTube. That's an old ashtray DJ be like, "Listen, can't you pick a goddamn song that's registered by the AACP so I can buy it?" No.
Okay. Are you done yet?
DJ problems.
Right.
All right.
The song sucks. Moving on.
Next up, we have me with this thing that I heard recently on Vice News. They have a podcast about cybersecurity called Motherboard. And they were talking about this thing called DRN, which is Digital Recognition Network.
Also, do not resuscitate.
DRN.
DRN. Drunk.
Do resuscitate not.
Do resuscitate not.
All right. So, what this is it's a private company that repo men and private investigators, as they drive down the road, they have cameras on their cars that are scanning everybody's license plate and taking pictures of them. That goes into a database. They use that database, it goes to DRN, they use that database to track where somebody's car is. Now, this can be useful if you're trying to repo somebody's car, or if you're a private investigator, looking to track somebody down.
Yeah, so this company basically, they just drive around. It's like I'm sure they're scouted to certain areas, but
so they're going around. So they're not driving around. The repo men are the ones driving around. Their customers are driving around and collecting this data for them. They have something like 8 billion pictures. And there are because this is a private company, there is no restriction on who they sell this to and how they use it. So I just think, all right.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a little, could be abused.
Well, it's like one of those things where you probably don't have to worry about in metropolitan areas or, like cities.
Right. So in 2014, Arkansas banned the collection of license plate data by private entities while allowing law enforcement to continue using the technology. DRN pushed back, saying the law violates their First Amendment rights. They said, "Oh, well,
to
we're
be
just
able to
taking
basically
pictures."
film, because they're from the street. Right. You do have like you have the freedom to take a picture, of whatever's around,
but you wouldn't have that freedom to display material like that in a broadcast setting without a release. So why should you be subject to having it sold to somebody, which is essentially the same concept?
Right. I agree with what you're saying, Mystic. If there's like a psycho fucking boyfriend, for instance, they could pay them $70 to run the plate and fucking track down somebody and kill them. Nothing stopping them. at this point.
Well, it wants to stop Google from targeted advertising along your route to work every day because that's your prescribed route.
Do. Right. I'm sure they already do, but this is, who the fuck are these private investigators and the stakes that are there? So I guess it's a little troubling to me. Yeah, they have 9 billion scans at this point. And they said that it's already...
I'm so glad I got more than one car.
There's already cases where people were giving their login information to fucking some Yahoo, and they used it incorrectly. So it's already being abused. So, yeah, I just think that that's bullshit. And I think in a situation like that, you need to fucking have some sort of check on that shit. Because that could get out of hand real quick. Because all they're doing, it's like, all right, get more surveillance because it's a for-profit enterprise. So it's like more pictures, more money.
Well, it just sounds like, the bigger it would get, it would just be like, they'll just start covering more and more areas. Just like Google Maps has started getting more and more detail over the, what it's been around for probably 15 years, right? Google Maps.
Yeah. Well, Google Maps is a different beast than this.
Oh, I know. But I mean, in the sense that like it improves over time and it starts to cover a higher resolution over the globe.
Right.
This kind of thing would spread just like that because it's like if you could just basically you're just mining data by driving around and you get paid some regular fucking fee like you would for a cab driver or some or delivery guy. You're just told to drive around this fucking neighborhood. Then you have that GPS system that tells you where you got to drive, and the cameras around, bleep, 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 bring it all in. Shit, easy money.
Yeah. So watch out for that. So that's it.
Straight driving around in a car with cameras all over. Actually, I learned that was what I've seen a few of those parking enforcement, Madison police or, parking enforcement vehicles where there's literally like 16 cameras on it. And they look almost like security cameras, like heavy duty. And they're pointing in all goddamn directions. I only recently learned that basically is the new high-tech way to drive down and instead of chalking tires, they just drive down, it takes pictures of the license plates and timestamps them, and then they just come back and drive around later, and then the computer's like, that car is fucking there too long. It's pretty impressive.
All right. It's impressive until you're enslaved by it.
Yeah.
Okay. In all seriousness, go fuck yourself, Wichita, Kansas. That's our show. We're going to be here every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Central or Thursday night.
Whenever we feel like fucking doing the show.
Make sure you join the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/redeyereport. You can also twiddle us at redeye_report. Like us, share us, or fuck us. We're down for whatever. I'm Oracle.
I'm Mystic.
This is the Ash. Trey.
And I'm drunk.
Yeah,
and I'm Teddy, you motherfuckers.
And this is the Red Eye Report.
Yay.
And to be honest, even when that technology
Okay, keep him quiet.
Yes, may I help you? Charles Lee, sir. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I've been asked to introduce you to the city, help you settle in. Oh, no need, sir. I've arranged for your bags to be delivered to the inn.
Are you by any chance John and Isabella's son?
One and the same.
Your commission is with Edward Braddock, is it not?
Aye. But he's yet to reach America, and I figured I might... Well, at least until he arrives, I thought.
Yes? Out with it.
Forgive me, sir. I had hoped that I might study under you. If I am to serve the Order, I can imagine no better mentor than yourself.
Kind of you to say, but I think you overestimate me.
Impossible, sir. This way.
Thief! Someone stop him!
Boston's quite a lively city.
There's all manner of things to see and do. Once you've settled in, I suggest you take some time to walk the streets. Who knows what opportunities you might discover.
Hold a moment. I need to fetch a few things before we get to work.
I'll arrange for horses while you do that.
Damn sprigs. This accursed city will be the death of me.
You seem troubled, friend.
That's because I am. Greatly so, in fact.
What's happened?
I was robbed. The old Balkan file. Though I've managed to restore what's mine, I fear it's ruined.
You mean the book?
This is no ordinary book. It's an almanac. The first I ever wrote. Benjamin Franklin. Pleased to meet you.
Hatham Kenway.
You must be new to Boston.
Why do you say that?
You're still possessed of virtue. To stop and help an old lout like myself. I don't mean to impose, but you seem a spry fellow. Should you happen to find my missing pages, I'll reward you.
Look, I'm not sure if I...
It's all right, all right. If you have the time, hurrah. If not, no harm done. The thing is useless in its current state anyway. But should you somehow manage to restore it, you'll find me inside that general store over there.
Well, that was interesting.
A cigar. Whatever, man. It'll get us high. I'm like, yeah, but we could have been high already. That just took you a half an hour. Like, what the fuck? Makes no sense to me.
This shit took you a half an hour, bro.
Right.
That's funny.
Nigga, I gotta go now. I mean, you can't really.
All right, we're live.
Do it
Yeah, I
live.
see that.
Oh shit, we're live already?
We're fucking live.
Kim Jong-un.
Is that a babbling brook in front of behind
That's
you?
a fucking
Babbling.
I don't know. Scenic beach. If I were to peg that beach, I would say it's maybe in Maine.
Maybe in Maine.
Yeah.
Maybe in mainstream.
Yeah, that was fucking dumb.
It made perfect fucking sense, and you all will respect
I don't
my
know what you just did there. That sure is whatever you're talking about for you.
Yep, just gave me a boner.
I'm still confused.
I don't know
Like
what you're
most guys,
talking about, but I got a boner.
This time it didn't even involve a homeless man.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate you all. All right, on this episode of the Red Eye Report, we talk about competitive eating. We listen to Ashtray ramble on about some bullshit as his forehead gets nice and glistening. And we also ridicule Ashtray. Also ridicule Ashtray's bad competitive eating jokes about Mystic. With us this week is the Mystic. Mystic has been a competitive eater all his life. The only problem is he's been competing with himself. So now the only thing he has
won every time.
He did win every time. Way to go, buddy.
Undefeated.
And now the only thing he has to show for it is a busted leg and a serious bout with the gout.
Nope, no gout yet.
No gout yet? Way to go, buddy.
With the gout. I like
Bout
it.
with the gout.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Old man comes
Be
out.
like a boxing match.
Gout wins.
Right? That's like a celebrity death match fucking thing.
Celebrity Death Match. That was like one of the only things I watched on MTV for the longest time.
Yeah,
Holy shit, I forgot all about that show. Okay, next to him is Oracle. Oracle's competitive eating. He does competitive eating in the saddest way possible. He does it by staring at himself in the mirror, crying as he shamefully shovels spoonfuls of food into his mouth, all the while telling himself that no one will ever love him. Yeah, exactly it. That's it.
No, he's right about that.
And then there's the Ashtray. Ashtray competitively eats one thing: drugs. and I mean a lot of fucking drugs. Like I did a lot of drugs. Like I did a lot of drugs, and my wife died. But this motherfucker, I couldn't party with you. my heart would explode.
All that radiation therapy I got. It's my superpower.
Yeah.
He's on the light end.
Really?
Come to Wisconsin, bro.
I've been to Wisconsin. I had to bring my own drugs.
You've been to Madison.
I
real Wisconsin
and had to bring my own drugs. All right, so don't come in here with that bullshit.
You didn't bring your own drugs. I got you drugs.
No,
I got you drugs.
No,
Bullshit.
I got
you drugs in a city I didn't even live in.
No, you did give me drugs in the city you lived in. Right? Yeah, I get that. That was correct. That was only after I had ran out of the drugs that I brought with me. Remember?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
Boom, sucker.
Right.
But we helped each other out, and we're discussing who got who drugs on Facebook. Way to go! My father would be so proud.
Fucking gold.
Anyway,
The only person watching is Mitch.
And me, I'm watching.
Thanks, man.
Anyway, I got to do that part over. Ashtray competitively eats one thing: drugs, and I mean a lot of drugs. I do mean a lot of drugs, but I do have to say that his cocaine and mushroom-filled rants on the show make him slightly more bearable.
Just a little.
Just a little. Yeah. And lastly, I'm Teddy. Yeah. And I'm Teddy. I competitively eat one thing: pussy, and I'm pretty goddamn good at it. And if you don't believe me, ask your mom. And this is the red article.
Burn.
Wow. Sick burn, dog.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Actually, that reminds me. I saw Kyle in his native environment.
His natural environment?
Yeah, his natural environment. So
Was it a gutter?
My gym is across from the Social Security Administration office.
Oh, my God.
And there was a Kyle there, and his hat was like sideways, and he had a big old Monster can on top of his shitty car. I felt like fucking Steve Irwin or something. I didn't want to go inside. I'm like, oh my God, it's a fucking real Kyle.
You spotted me.
You should have, dude. You should have fucking loaded up your camera. You're like, we don't want to spook him.
Yeah, right.
Don't spook the Kyle.
It's a Kyle in his natural habitat.
All right, so this week we're talking about competitive eating. This was my fuck what you think a few episodes back. I think like 4 or 5 because July 4th. The episode around July 4th because that's when the Nathan's hot dog eating contest takes place. And I kind of sucks that I know that now. I had no idea when that contest took place. It kind of like surprised me. It was like, it's coming up. I never knew it was on July 4th. So like, I really couldn't find the earliest fucking. This is like some Oracle type shit because I found this story. Oracle used to do the history of the shit. He's come up with this obscure shit. But anyway, one of the earliest competitive eating challenges is a Thor and Loki Norse tale. They are confronted by a giant king, Utgard Loki, and he challenges each visitor to a competition. Everybody loses, but then Loki chooses an eating challenge, and the king puts him up against a guy named Logi, and they put a wooden plate.
Loki versus Logi.
Yeah, Loki versus Logi. They put so they put wooden plates with pile with meat in front of both guys. Loki eats all of his meat. Fucking in front of him are a plate of bones, and fucking he thinks he's won, but he looks across the table and the other guy has eaten all the meat, all the bones, and the plate.
Damn.
And the plate too.
So then he so Logie won.
No, yeah, Logie won, and it turns out like his name in Norse something means like fire or something, and he had something to do with fire, so he just like kind of burned the shit up. That's why he won. But yeah,
whatever he eats just gets incinerated.
Yeah,
that's a great myth. What happened to Loki? What's the moral of that story?
Right. Besides Nathan's
that's a pretty dumb fucking story.
Right?
Like I don't get it. I don't really get it.
Yeah, what was the point of the fucking eating contest?
I know. They were trying to fucking do. Yo, I hate you all both. I gotta go back. I just want to say about the contest. All the other stuff down here, I just didn't read it.
I mean, didn't he like win something, like some kind of power or something?
Did he at least not get killed because of it? Like, was he gonna get murdered if he didn't win? Like,
but it doesn't say. It said they arrive at the palace of Giant King Ogre Loki. He challenges the competition, tells about the competition, and then Loki chooses his competition, and fucking it's just telling about competitive eating. I don't know what you
ever notice that that's like a common thread in ancient times. Was like when you win the competition, you're what you win is that you don't die. like you get to live, and like everyone else gets to fuck. Yeah, well, woo, thank you.
Yeah, God, thanks.
I don't know why I entered.
Right? Yeah, it's like why the hell did I join?
Right?
Fucking stupid.
Boom.
Can't lose if you don't play.
Can't lose if you don't play. So in the United States, everything pretty started off in the early 19th century with pie eating contests. Those were kind of like the staple for fairs and things like that.
All right.
And July 4th, 1916, fucking that's when Nathan's first announced his hot dog eating challenge, and that's kind of where like the shit took off. They started doing it every year, and shit took off. Like things started getting crazier in from pies, competitive eating to incorporate a lot of foods like a spaghetti eating contest between a New York Yankee and an ostrich.
And an ostrich
in 1919, yeah.
People paid money.
What?
Ostrich.
That sounds like a Family Guy sketch.
Yeah,
like,
yep, April 3rd, 19.
What they didn't tell you is they starved that bird for a full week.
Right? That bird ate the living fuck out of that spaghetti.
Dude.
Bird almost ate his company. So just pecking at the guy next to him.
So now you have competitive eating. It's on like a fucking scale. The competitive eating competitive eating fucking son of a bitch.
You lost your spot.
You okay?
Competitive eating son of a bitch.
The International Federation of Competitive Eating, which came official in 1998. They regulate over 70 fucking competitive eating challenges in the United States.
Damn.
Every year.
That is so dumb. It just seems like it's just.
I agree. I think it's
like I get it. We make everything into competitions. You know, like obviously walking, running, fucking sports, anything like that. Like things we do with our bodies, but like eating. Like it's weird to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually surprised that this has been around as long as it has.
Right.
You know, kind of because Nathan's was running the thing back in 1916, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, in the
Nathan did by now.
In the 1980s. In the mid to late 1980s and 90s, it really caught on, started to catch on in Japan, and that kind of helped spur in the United States. That's what it says. I don't know why.
Because the Japanese were doing it. What year was it?
Because they were in the mid 1980s. It's because they had
because everybody was smoking crack in the U.S., so they didn't have much of an appetite.
Over Japan, they started having all these crazy TV shows, and a lot of them had to do, a lot of shit. So that's why, yeah.
Like I don't understand the competitions. You know what I mean? Like the Nathan's competition once a year, it's a spectacle thing that goes on, or like the competitions of how much can you eat in one sitting. But like I've been watching, or I have this dude on Facebook that I follow called Randy Santel. And this dude is like, that's what he does. He goes around and does these eating competitions at different restaurants, you know, like, oh, can you finish this gigantic fucking pizza in an hour and you win whatever, you know what I mean? A t-shirt and fucking $75 fucking, you know, gift certificate to an arcade or some stupid shit. But like, I don't understand how this dude does this shit every day.
He does it every day.
Every day.
I don't know if he does it every day, but he posts videos all the fucking time. Like, and he was doing this behind the scenes type of thing. Like, he says that's the only meal that he eats that day. And he also is like huge into bodybuilding. I mean, he's a pretty big dude. Like, you know what I mean? He's not fat, and he's pretty.
Well, a lot like the top 20, the top 15 and 20 fucking competitive eaters in the International Federation of Competitive Eating, they are in mad shape.
Really?
Yeah. They use all those calories and shit and fuel and then they go lift. You know what I mean? And they go work out.
Oh, yeah, that's part of it. The thing is, like your stomach actually, like your esophagus goes down all right here, and then your stomach starts like up here actually, and it's not like all the way down here. It starts like right here. And so what they do is, if you're fat, if you got a lot of body fat, that fat takes up a lot of space because you need your stomach to fucking expand a whole shit ton. And if you got fat constricting that, it won't expand. So that's why a lot of them are fat. So they fill up the it's kind of again
gross. Fucking
you're taking the average competitive eater, your stomach can hold about a liter of fucking shit. And they take it and add like 4 or 5 liters.
Damn,
like it's crazy, and it's not. But it's not like a lot of. But it's different. Like you can drink a gallon. Like a gallon of water is not as heavy as a gallon of chili.
Right.
Oh God,
so
chili.
So I mean,
I already got heartburn now. Don't tell me.
So
that.
the volume is the same, but the density and shit is not.
Yeah,
it's not there. It's competitive eating, like you shouldn't nobody should eat that much fucking food that much.
But when there's money involved, how can you say?
Well, I mean, but it's not very lucrative. I mean, like
I know you can't make it.
Well, yeah, Kobayashi. I think Kobayashi. He was like the highest paid one year. He won $150,000, and that's just going around the country eating. You win. I mean, a lot of these contests, like the biggest one, which the Nathan's Hot Dog Challenge, is considered the Super Bowl of the professional eating world, and that gets you like $10,000 to $15,000 if you win. And then the other ones. I mean,
like a professional eater.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to fucking be a professional eater.
How the fuck do you train?
The thing though
it's different. Well, training is. Oh, God, sorry, Mr. Good.
If you're only doing shit like that, you're probably not making a lot. But that, like I said, that Randy Santel guy, like he has like 2 million followers. You know what I mean? A lot of people watch his videos, and he gets paid for advertising. So he's found a way to monetize this
to monetize
eating shit. You know,
this kind of I'm talking the thing I'm talking about is kind of like This is like pre fucking YouTube era.
Right,
so
right.
Now anybody can. It's like if you get your household name, get your name, be a household name, you can pretty much get into the fucking.
Everything's got like a Hot Wings fucking challenge or whatever.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The old 96er.
What's the old name?
We'll get
to that later.
Great Outdoors.
Y'all are fucking my train of thought.
Oh wait, yeah, I do remember.
We'll get to it. That's all right.
We'll get to it, for fucking sake. All right. So to do all this, you have to train your body to eat all this food. For one, you have to train your body to do a lot of things. One, you have to train your body to your stomach has to stretch. And they have examined competitive eaters things like your stomach stretches and contracts, but competitive eater stomachs, they don't contract back. Like they train because they stretch it out so much they train it not to contract back. So it's all bigger and saggier. But the thing about that is it can twist up on itself, and then you have to have like some kind of
twisted bowel. That'll kill you.
It twists up on itself.
That doesn't sound good.
No, no one likes their stomach twisted.
Sounds like you should almost not be a competitive eater.
Right?
That's not it.
Here's some celery. Now calm down.
Just calm the fuck down. So you never see competitive. It's always chicken wings or something
True.
big.
Vegetarians should Or vegans, they should make their own.
Yeah, talk about an eating challenge with celery or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they should have like somebody eat carrots.
Celery.
Can you imagine?
Like a bunch of rabbits, like crazy rabbits eating carrots, and you're eating carrots.
Yeah,
right. That shit.
I mean, imagine, eat 5 pounds of celery. Like, just imagine what kind of you're gonna be shitting like full logs, like trees, right out your ass. So much fiber.
It's so strange.
Man, you can press that shit and make a TV stand out of it.
Right.
That's some farm stool.
What's that smell? It's just TV stand.
TV stand, bitch. Calm down.
My shit one time, and I shit you not, held up the side of a house. That's how firm it is.
Yeah. Why is your TV at an angle? Oh, someone that has that early shit, not enough fiber in that.
Yeah.
Anyway, another thing, if y'all seen the contest, you know how they're pretty much shoving. They do ways to get.
Don't they
get
put
the
it in water or something?
Some of them do because they say it helps them swallow easier or get it down easier. Some do, some don't. Some dunk it in water, some fucking swig it, whatever. But when you're doing that, you have to breathe right, because you can get hypoxia because you're stuffing your shit and the brain loses oxygen. Damn, you can pass out.
Like you get down the wrong pipe.
Yeah, a lot of what do you call them?
Choking.
Amateur.
Ladies,
a lot of the amateur fucking.
We call that choking.
Yeah, a lot of amateur eaters they die in chokings because one they're eating all this food and they're shoving it down and they
didn't train.
They didn't train. I mean, like these guys they
got a day job,
swallow big things of food to stretch out their esophagus. Like it's they actually do train for this shit. And that can cause choking. Like a lot of people, like when I looked up the fucking cases of people dying from what's the name, from competitive eating competitions, it was all fucking all chokings. One guy had a heart attack. One guy had a heart attack from the spiciness of the chicken wings.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
There's an asterisk, like these.
Yeah, they said he ate one wing. They said he ate some wings.
This one is a heart attack.
Yeah, he ate some wings, hit the ground, said, "Man, that's hot." Then had a heart attack.
These three killed by a giant TV screen.
Died from cayenne pepper.
Again, I can also put stress on the liver. The liver also fucking clean. It takes the shit out of your blood. But what it also does is it takes care of the liver. It takes care of all the fat that goes in your body. And if you're eating fucking